Yeah, this is this is another one. This is a strange one, y'all. I don't. I, Las Vegas woman, 43, set fire to her dinner date's apartment and tried to kill him after he showed up at the restaurant with just $5 in his pocket. Las Vegas woman allegedly set fire to her friend's home, tried to kill him after he showed up to their dinner date with $5. Kimberly Marika Johnson was arrested Tuesday and faces charges of attempted murder and first-degree arson stemming from a fire she allegedly set at a home on October 11th, 2020 at about 5:30 a.m. According to an arrest report obtained by Las Vegas Review-Journal, Johnson had gone to meet the friend for dinner at Jerry's Nugget, a casino, earlier in the morning. At some point during the dinner, Johnson learned that the man, who has not been identified publicly, had only $5 with him, which led to the two having an argument. A North Las Vegas Fire Department investigator said in the arrest report. Johnson, the investigator reported, then made the man walk the 2.5 miles back to his apartment. It's unclear if he had been expected to return to the casino with more money or their dinner date had ended at that point. About 20 minutes after he arrived back at his apartment, however, the man heard a splashing sound on the window and front door. When the man opened the door, Johnson ignited the gas vapors. The front door and the mat are fully engulfed in flames, the fire investigator wrote in the report. The man, who lived in a 2-story apartment complex, then slammed the burning front door shut. Johnson was said to have then used a wooden-handled hammer to break the front window at the bottom level of the apartment. Dinner date claimed that Johnson threw her purse, which was on fire, through the broken window and into the front room of the apartment. According to the arrest report, the man said that Johnson was high on crystal meth and said she had attempted to burn me down. The fire at the man's house was determined to have been set with willful and malicious intent. It's unclear if there are any injuries suffered during the incident. Online jail reports indicate Johnson is being held on $5,000 bail and is due back in court on the morning of January 25th. This is in dailymail.co.uk. I mean, there's been a few of these cases, that I've been reporting on over the last year. There was a case of the man who he called a woman over to his house late one night and fell asleep. And because he didn't answer the door, the woman who he had called over was offended, set his house on fire. I mean, there's been a few of these. This is ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely. His name, the crystal meth adds clarity, but see, that's why I'm bringing up the other cases, because there wasn't use of crystal meth. So there's more that tends to happen with these than not. You don't have to be on crystal meth for this to happen, unfortunately. Sister Warrior, that's cold. I ain't said it. Yeah, that it is what it is. But this is what men have to be very careful of. This type of retribution, and at the end of the day, no matter what you think about whether or not men in particular should come to the date prepared, the type of treatment that men in particular, black men in particular, can receive is above and beyond. And again, there have been a number of these cases I've talked to you about in the last year, cases where men have come home, found their wives cheating, and that's happened a couple of times. I reported on during the show. One man tried to leave, pack his bags, and his wife, who was actively cheating on him when he walked in the house, she shot him, right? And then managed to get out of jail before he had finished healing from getting shot by her, right? We really don't have an understanding of how to perceive women fundamentally as being human, in the sense that humanity includes both the positive and the aspirational sides of the human spirit, but as well the capacity to commit acts of violence, injustice, oppressive acts, violations of securities and trust. We don't really know how to make sense of women that commit such acts. So we tend to have a one-way aggression both in our legal system as well as in the court of public opinion about how men should be treated and regarded, right? So in many of these cases, I mean, look, you don't want to believe me. Let's just flip the script. Woman comes to a date, doesn't bring any money at all, and we all know that for the most part, it is socially acceptable for women to not have any money, to not come with any preparedness to pay for anything. That's socially acceptable, right? If a man decided to set a woman's house on fire because she didn't bring enough money to a date, this wouldn't be on some back page somewhere. How many of you, I mean, I'm more than sure that most of you listening to this broadcast only heard about this because I just read it to you. It's not like it was on the front page of anything, but I can guarantee you, especially if it was a black man, he set some woman's house on fire because she didn't come prepared to have a date. Or let's flip it. If she didn't want to have sex with him after the date and he decided to set her house on fire, he'd be front page news. But we don't know how to account for female aggression. And so most of the time, we tend to deny the issue altogether, right? So just keeping that in mind, these things do happen. They are not limited to the use of crystal meth, but it is what it is. So be on the mind, be mindful of this, and fellas, definitely be careful who you take out.